Even though a lot of these cards won't come out on the TCG for a little while, Konami's actually been really good about giving decks that I like a lot legacy support. We saw a whole bunch of new Crystal Beast monsters, we saw the new Gem Knight Link monster, and just today we have a new Batteryman monster announced, which is kind of out of nowhere considering the deck hasn't seen support in like years. But I'm really excited for it, and I usually don't talk about news, but I really do like this card, and as a lot of you know, I've loved Batteryman for since Duelist Alliance. 9-volt really made the deck very playable, at least in a rogue sense, and they have a lot of fun OTKs. And I've seen a lot of misinformation about this card. Not a lot of people actually play Batteryman, so I can understand why they wouldn't understand why this card was good. But I think it's really powerful, and I want to talk about it today. So we're going to go through the new Batteryman card, which is called Solar Batteryman, and we're also going to compare its effects to all of the current Batteryman that you do play, and also some cards that haven't really seen play in Batteryman, but very well could see play when this card comes out. So first, let's take a look at this effect. So it has 3 different effects. I'm really only going to focus on the first and second one because the third one isn't really relevant, which is kind of disappointing. But it's a 1500 attack, level 4 light thunder monster. That's not super surprising. Really good just because you compare it with 9-volt for stuff. But its first effect is that if this card is normal or special summon, you can send 1 thunder monster from your deck to the graveyard. And then its second effect is if another thunder monster is normal or special summon, well, this card is already in a monster zone, special summon 1 Batteryman token. Now, the important part about that second effect is that by it saying, while this card is already in the monster zone, it means that if you revive this thing, you don't get this special summon. It has to be face up and you have to revive something else. So this card's really good, and I guess I'll mention the third effect is that you can target 1 Batteryman effect monster inside the field or in your graveyard until the end phase. This card's name becomes that card's name. That doesn't really do anything as far as a competitively viable Batteryman deck. Yeah, it has some neat interactions with some of the older cards, but we're not really going to focus on that. So why is the first and second effect so good? So the first effect seems pretty straightforward. It's just a foolish burial for Batteryman cards. What you'll be doing with this almost 100% of the time is sending Batteryman 9-volt. Now 9-volt is probably the most important card to a Batteryman strategy because when it's summoned, you get to search a card and it goes up to 2000 attack and defense. That's really good. And the main combo that we're doing here, and that a lot of people have already noticed, is that as long as you have Solar Batteryman and Battery Charger, not Batteryman Charger, but the actual Battery Charger, you can do quite a lot of damage, and that's pretty cool, because you can use the Solar Batteryman to send the Batteryman 9-volt to the grave, and then Battery Charger to bring it back. Search usually Batteryman Fuel Cell, and that also triggers your effect to get a token on the board. Now with a token on the board, the token is a Batteryman card, which combos with some cards, but I think the way it was designed was to be used with Batteryman Fuel Cell. Now, I just mentioned that because Fuel Cell is what you'll most likely be searching if you don't have a way to use an extra normal summon, because Fuel Cell can special summon itself as long as you have 2 Batteryman face up on the field. Now, if you just did that Charger and Solar combo that I just said, you'll actually have 3 Batteryman on the field, but that's perfectly fine because when Fuel Cell's on the field, you can tribute a Batteryman monster to bounce a card your opponent controls. Now, unfortunately, that's not a quick effect, so it's not like a Kieran, but it is pretty good for clearing the way for an OTK, and at the very least, you'll have 2100 damage plus 1500 damage plus 2000 damage, so that's quite a lot of damage off of a 2-card combo. But more importantly, this card sets up a lot of other things. So, for example, we can take a look at Batteryman Industrial Strength. It's sort of like a Spiral Sleeper, not quite as powerful, but it doesn't have the sort of self-destruction effect. But it's a cool card. I mean, you can summon it by banishing 2 Batteryman monsters in your graveyard, and then you can banish a Thunder-type monster in your graveyard to destroy a monster and a spell or trap card on the field. Now, you do have to destroy both of them, so if your opponent only has one of them, you'll have to pop one of your own cards. But that's not that big a deal because the main combo that you're using is summon Industrial Strength, and one of the main combos that you want to be using in Batteryman just in general is with Brilliant Fusion. Now, I know that I play Brilliant Fusion and everything, but Brilliant Fusion is really, really good in Batteryman because that extra normal summon is super powerful. Obviously, it's good with Solar Batteryman here because you can get the Foolish effect, and it's obviously good with 9-volt because you can get the Search effect, but it's really good with Batteryman Charger because the Batteryman Charger card gets its effect when it's normal summon, and it just special summons a Batteryman from the deck, and then it gains more attack and defense based on Thunder monsters you control. This is good because it's It's not once per turn, which means if you have multiple copies and you can normal summon twice in one turn with Gem Knight Seraphinite, you can actually then get its effect twice. And also it'll get its boost from itself, and then also it'll get the boost from the token that you summon, which is really, really good. But why do I say this card is good with Brilliant Fusion, or why do I say this deck is good with Brilliant Fusion? Well, there's a lot of different reasons. Besides the double normal summon effect, the fact that you can send Gem Knight Tourmaline to their graveyard makes Batteryman Industrial Strength, that I previously mentioned, quite powerful, because Tourmaline is a thunder monster. Now, a possible combo you could do is if you had Brilliant Fusion and 9-volt, you can Brilliant Fusion for Tourmaline, and then any random card, any light monster, probably Perform Age Trick Clown, summon 9-volt, add Charger, tribute summon the Seraphinite for the Charger effect, summon another random guy from the deck, possibly Fuel Cell, most likely Fuel Cell, but possibly Solar Batteryman if you want another foolish effect, and then you can do like a Link summon or an XYZ summon Industrial Strength, and then banish the Tourmaline to pop 2 cards. And the best part about that situation is that you can actually pop the dead Brilliant Fusion if your opponent didn't have a back row. It's not ideal because you obviously want to get the most value possible out of Batteryman Industrial Strength, and it is, in the best case, going to pop 2 of your opponent's cards for free, basically. But in the case that your opponent doesn't have a back row, I'd say they'd most likely have a monster. But if they don't have a back row, you can just pop your Brilliant Fusion, and that's really good. So I've been seeing a lot of people say that this card isn't good enough. Even Davinator, another person who I know plays Batteryman, seems to underestimate this card. And there's a good reason for that. The good reason is that Solar Batteryman is almost always going to be the second best normal summon when you have 9-volt in your hand. And I understand that, but I also understand that 9-volt is only a 3 of, and Batteryman don't really have a lot of searching other than the 9-volt itself. Yes, there's Thunder Seahorse, but Thunder Seahorse is incredibly slow and restricts your special summoning, so most people don't play that card. So outside of actually summoning a 9-volt, there aren't a lot of good just one-card plays anyway. And in most cases, if you don't have a 9-volt, your play is just going to be to pass. Now, there are some versions of Batteryman, and I've played them in the past as well, that make use of Batteryman Microcell. Now, Microcell is a pretty good monster if your opponent actually attacks into it. You get a huge swing and card advantage, and you set up a whole bunch of OGKs. However, the problem with Microcell is that you have to set it. It's not an aggressive card in a deck that's supposed to be incredibly aggressive. And in that case, I would say that in a lot of builds, people have been sort of pushing Microcell down to 2 copies, down to 1 copy, and in some cases, not even playing it at all. And in those cases, I would say that Solar Batteryman is obviously a strong choice. No, it is not as good as 9-volt, but it is definitely going to be the second best normal summon in your entire deck that doesn't require tribute. Obviously, Batteryman Charger is a really good card, but it doesn't require a tribute, and it does combo with Battery Charger, but it combos with a bunch of other stuff too. The other things that I'm thinking of are Short Circuit. Short Circuit was played right when Batteryman 9-volt came out, at least in the builds that I saw, but most people have stopped playing it now. Basically, if you have 3 or more Batteryman monsters, all of your opponent's cards are destroyed. Now, this is really good now because with Solar Batteryman and Battery Charger, that's a 2-card combo to put 3 Batteryman on the field because the token itself is actually a Batteryman monster. So Short Circuit seems a lot better now, but I also like the idea of playing Quick Charger. Now, Quick Charger adds 2 level 4 or lower Batteryman monsters from your graveyard to your hand. Previously, this wasn't very good because while adding 9-volt is really good, you do have to add 2 level 4 monsters. And other than 9-volt, the only level 4 or lower Batteryman monster you were playing was Microcell, and that card's really slow. So using Quick Charger to add back a Microcell to set it is like a really bad play. You really only wanted to resolve 1 Microcell a game, and then you would pretty much either win or lose immediately after that. So Quick Charger wasn't really played because it didn't have enough targets, but one Solar Batteryman actually meets the requirements for both of these because the Solar Batteryman can put a 9-volt in the grave, and then when it goes to the grave, you can obviously do stuff. And I think that's really good. I think Quick Charger has the potential to be a pretty good card. Recycling Batteries is like another card that people have not really played, but you could play if you actually use Solar Batteryman and wanted some more recursion effects. Also, the token card is obviously really good for Link summoning. It is a level 1 normal monster, so you can use it for Link Karibo, you can use it for I mean, all sorts of stuff. Any sort of, when we eventually get the light monster that's a Link card, like the Mrs. Radiant and the Mistar Boy, the one that just takes 2 lights, that'll be down the line, but you'll definitely want to play that in this deck, and it'll be really easy to make off of the token. I suppose right now, if you wanted to use it, you could use it with Link Spider, because I know that Link Karibo isn't legal yet. At the time of making this video, it's not legal yet. But yeah, I think this card's great. I don't know why people are sort of saying that a lot of the effects don't actually matter. While I understand that the third effect is kind of disappointing, this deck really lacks normal summons, really lacks good starter cards. And while this card does usually need one other thing to combo with it, whether it be Brilliant Fusion, whether it be Battery Charger, usually the fact that you even have a normal summon besides 9-volt is going to help the deck just in general. I mean, I remember playing this deck, and I would always try to play cards like Thunder King or even like Fossil Dyna. Anything that's like a normal summon to secure the board was good until you actually drew that 9-volt. And yeah, I think this card could replace a lot of those random level 4 monsters that people were playing. So let me know what you think of this. I think it's really good. I think that Konami's been pretty darn efficient with their legacy support this year. Hopefully a lot of these cards will get released in 2018. This card in particular will get released 2 sets from now. It's in the main core set of the Blaze of, what is it called? Flames of Destruction, not Blades of Destruction, not the structure deck. So yeah, we'll definitely get this card in like 6 months or whatever, but yeah, I'm excited for it. Let me know what you think though, and I'll see you guys later.